A disappointing ending to what was an otherwise excellent road trip for the Bulls. I mean, really, who had the Bulls going 3-1 on this West Coast trip? And when you talk about 4 games and 6 nights, all traveling, you could see the Bulls kind of running out of gas there at the end in the fourth quarter when they were coming apart. Despite the poor fourth quarter, though, I actually thought the Bulls played well in this game. Despite all the traveling, they came out strong. They were moving the ball well. They were getting after it defensively. They were really attacking the Clippers on both ends of the floor. I hate to use that word, but it was competitive. It was a competitive game. What really was the difference in this one was that at the start of the fourth quarter, where the Clippers went on a 10-0 run, Bulls were turning the ball over, coming up with 1-and-done possessions. They found themselves down 10 or so right at the start of the frame, and they really never were able to recover from that. The Clippers are just too good of a team to let a game like that slip away from them. A game they know they have to win to try and make it to the top of the Western Conference standings to secure at least a top 3 seed. And like I mentioned, the Bulls, they were gassed. It's not that they weren't playing hard still in the fourth quarter, but their shots were coming up short, looking flat. They were turning the ball over and getting sloppy in the final minutes. I mean, the most telling thing was seeing Demar DeRozan not hit a single field goal in the fourth quarter. For a guy who has been absolutely dominant in closing out games over these last few on the road, a man who put up more points by himself than the Sacramento Kings did as a team in the fourth quarter, and man who has averaged the most minutes per game in the NBA. Yeah, you knew fatigue was eventually going to start catching up to him. What's crazy though is that it looked like Demar was going to go off for 40 with how smooth and efficient he was in the first half. He loves playing in LA, and it looked like he was going to have another Kobe-esque game in his old house. And it was until we got to the fourth quarter, which the Bulls only ended up scoring 17 points in the fourth, getting outscored 29-17. DeMar still ended up having a solid game in which he put up 24 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, nearly a triple-double. He was just doing a little bit of everything in this game to impact the floor, getting to the line, making plays for others with his passing, 8 for 19 from the floor, but another 42 minutes for DeMar DeRozan. I mean, the problem is we're going to be seeing more of the same, both for him and Coby, because the Bulls are shorthanded. They don't really have the luxury of giving these guys longer breaks and filtering in more guys to come into the rotation where they can get more rest. One, they need their scoring, so you're never going to come across a situation where both of them are going to be on the bench at the same time, or generally speaking anyway. And two, when you don't have Zach Lavine, and you don't have Patrick Williams, and then Torrey Craig's still on a minutes restriction, and the fact that these games have always been close, so there hasn't been any room for garbage time, these guys are just going to keep seeing games where they're putting up over 40 minutes. For Coby, a little disappointed because he barely fell short of my underdog fantasy pick'em. I took the higher on him, exceeding 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined, and he came up 3 points short. Sign up for Underdog Fantasy, by the way, a really fun app to place bets on player props and fantasy basketball. They're obviously a sponsor of the channel, but as I've said before, even if they weren't a sponsor and I came across the app, I would be an avid user because it's so user-friendly and you can even make $1 wages. So little risk, but it makes it fun to watch basketball. The link to the site and the promo code is in the description. You can get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Take the free money and run with it. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I made this bet banking on Coby continuing his hot streak, and I wouldn't say that he was cold tonight, but he certainly cooled off a bit from some of these other games that he's had on the road trip. Still a good game, put up 19 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists, but he wasn't as efficient on offense, went 7 for 16 from the floor, 3 for 9 from deep, and he also got a little careless with the ball at times. Had 5 turnovers alone in this game, which was a bit uncharacteristic for Coby given he's improved his overall ball handling and passing so much this season. Again, likely fatigue setting in and being a factor, Coby has played in every game so far this season and leads the league in total minutes played. Vucevic is finally starting to find his stroke from 3. He's shooting 5 for 10 from downtown over his last 2 games. That would be something if we could see Vucevic at least getting back to shooting something close to 35% from 3, which would be a big difference maker for the Bulls in these games. But Vucevic has been playing really well. A lot of people have been hating on Vuce all season. Well, I really should say since the Bulls traded for him. Sometimes it's justified, but give the man credit. He's been playing very well as of late. Tonight, 22 points, 11 rebounds. Had trouble with his mid-range jumpers that he's usually solid at knocking down and ended up shooting 9 for 22 in this game. Io, another solid game for him. Dude has just been incredibly consistent throughout the season. 13 points, 5 for 11, 3 for 7 from 3, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And then Alex Caruso, who did hit my other pick'em, by the way. I had him getting over 1.5 steals, ended the game with 4 steals. I had a feeling he was going to try and get after it and get some of those picks when he didn't have a single steal the other night against the Warriors. Not only did he have 4 steals, but also 2 blocks, and of course, what they don't track in the box score, but just all the deflections, deterring shots, and contesting plays. That's why I love Alex Caruso so much. Dude just competes and leaves it all on the floor. Bulls didn't really get a ton of production from their bench. Well, I take that back, actually, because Batum provided some great minutes off the bench. Scrappy on defense, hit a couple threes off a pump fake and a sidestep. He loves those. I would have liked to see him get more than 10 minutes, especially with the kind of minute loads that we're seeing from DeMar DeRozan and Coby White. Was also surprised to see Drummond play so little. Only 12 minutes for him in this game, where the Bulls could have used a bit more size. I missed the double big lineup. With Craig coming back, even though it's on limited minutes, you're probably not going to see much of that for the rest of the season, but I like the energy that the lineup brought, even though it was a massive clog to the paint at that time. I also missed the Bulls getting 50+ rebounds in games and all those second chance opportunities that we would usually see in the double big lineup, or hell, even the 74 rebound game like they had the other night against the Cavs. But anyway, regardless of this game, a good road trip for the Bulls. They've been playing hard. I love the effort we've been seeing from them on the court. Bulls head home to take on the Mavs, who have been kind of slipping as of late. The Bulls still firmly in that 9th spot, although I will say the Hawks are playing better. Bulls are actually only 1.5 games ahead of them right now for 10th, but regardless, still plenty enough of a gap between them and the Nets to secure a play-in spot. Let me know what you guys thought of tonight's game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.